What's up, everybody? I know it's been a long time. I planned to do this video a few weeks ago, but life got in the way. It's been very busy. But what better way to do the inaugural first video for the Fantasy Baseball League than right here in Colorado, right outside Coors Field. That's right. I'm here to watch the Mets and the Rockies do their thing. Justin Verlander tonight. It's going to be a beautiful game. I'm very excited. First, I want to thank everybody for joining the league. This is the first year doing it. And, baseball's a little tricky thing. I like the best ball concept because, like I said, you don't really have to really focus on your lineup. It's more of just, acquiring players, making sure to see who works. One thing I did realize is that this league is focused a lot more on offense than it is on pitching. So I didn't want to make any tweaks. I didn't know if it was going to make any changes to the past. So I'm waiting to find out to see. At the All-Star break, I may make some tweaks to add some more points to the pitching. I will keep you posted. But let's jump into it. So, man, this season has gotten out to an interesting start. As of today, we have 4 teams tied for the top spot. On top of that list is MTC 973, aka Marty. Marty, who's also in my fantasy football league, Ridley's Believe It or Not. He's in first place with 5-2. And man, he started off very strong, winning the first 3 weeks of the season, knocking out me, Bubba, and Jen. Then getting his first loss to my nephew Benny, dropping down to 3-1, and then after that beating Frank and Danny. But last week, suffered a 213-207 loss to Carlos, aka C-Rod 55. Marty was actually winning in that 195-162 going into the last game, and Carlos, man, on Sunday just killed them, came back for the win. So Marty on top of the leaderboard at 5-2. Tied with him, we have Designated Shitter, a.k.a. my boy Vaughn, a.k.a. Legendary Giant in the Fantasy Football League. I got quite a few people from the Fantasy Football Leagues in here, so I'm going to throw a little shout out there so people can know who they are. Juan is also 5-2. He started off the season strong with 4 straight wins. He beat my nephew Matt, my brother-in-law Frank. He beat my son Jordan. He beat my nephew Chris. He was just like beating everybody in my family. But then Bubba beat him to give him his first loss. And then, of course, I had to avenge for my family's losses, and I beat his ass. He went down to 4-2, but then last week, got back on the winning track, beating Jen 258-173. Juan currently is 5-2, tied for the top spot. Next up, the 13th tie for the top spot, Jennifer, who had drafted Harrison Bader with her second pick, which, man, raised a lot of eyebrows. I guess she knew what she was doing because, like I said, right now she is 5-2. And with her, she beat my brother-in-law Frank, my nephew Ben, beat Marty, beat Danny, a.k.a. Team Deal in my fantasy league, and then beat Carlos. Actually, she lost to Marty. Apologies. So it was 4-1, then beat my nephew Matt to go 5-1, but last week lost to Juan, 285-173 to drop to 5-2. And then the 4th team tied for that top spot is my nephew Chris Cannoli at 5-2. And he has been on a tear of late. Started off the season with a huge 363-288 win against Danny, lost to Carlos, then beat his brother Matt, lost to Juan, then he went ahead and beat both his uncles, both me and Frank, and beat Bubba on a 3-game winning streak. And man, right now, it's looking good for him, man. Chris is 5-2, tied for first. We have 4 teams tied for first at 5-2. Next up, we have 2 teams at 4-3. Team Deal and Bubba. I keep saying Team Deal. Y2 Deal. I'm mixing the leagues, but this is going to happen. Y2 Deal, who's Danny, and Bubba 162. Bubba at 4-3. Bubba took losses early on to Marty and to Danny, but then went on a 4-game winning streak. And then last week lost to my nephew Chris and is now 4-3. Danny was a little different. He's been on and off. Lost his first week, won the next 2, then lost, then won, then lost, then won. So he's hovering over the 500 mark. Next up, we have 4 teams at 3-4. Metropolitans, Benny C34. The ball game is over in Crowd 55. Matt, Benny, me, and Carlos all at 3-4. Benny started off the season with a win against me, then suffered 2 losses, and since then has been win-loss, win-loss. Last week lost to his cousin Matt, 199 to 144. Matt started off slow, started off 1-3, but then started pulling off some wins, and now again he is 3-4 now with a win over Ben. And then you have Carlos, who won his first 2, then lost 4 in a row, but got back in the win column last week, and now is at 3-4. And then again, I started off 0-2, then I won 2. Oh, that's actually not me. I lost my first 3 games. I was 0-3. I was doing horribly. But since then, I've won 3 out of the last 4 to go to 3-4. And after that, we have who's on first? My brother-in-law, Frank, who is starting the season off horribly. He is at 2-5. He's lost his first 2. Then he went back to 500, but he has lost 3 straight to be at 2-5. And then in last place, Jordan is 0-7. He is on a 7-game losing streak, has not gotten a win this season. Last week he was close. It was a tight game, but I pulled it off with that beautiful gem by Verlander that put me over the top. So let's jump to this week. We're at week 8, and we have number 6, Bubba, going up against number 11, Frank. Bubba 162 versus who's on first. And right now, it's who's on first with a 168-146 lead. Frank is trying to break that 3-game losing streak. Bubba's also trying to get back into the win column as they both lost last week. It's tight. We'll see how it goes this weekend. Next up, we have number 1, MTC 973 going against the Metropolitans. And right now that game is tight. Metropolitans with a 3-point lead, 133 to 130. Matt's trying to make it 2 in a row. Marty's trying to get back into the win column. Next up, we have 3rd seed Jen Rosales going up against LGFM 23-28. Can I just make a comment here? Jordan, maybe if you change your initials to LFGM, maybe you start winning. Maybe the LGFM is not working for you. Just a word of advice. Right now, Jen is up early, 169 to 123. Both got losses last week. Jordan trying to get into the win column. Jen trying to stay on top of the first place in the standings. Next up, we have 4th seed Chris going up against 9th seed me. So it's Chris Canoli versus the ball game is over. And right now, just making sure that's accurate. Yes. Right now it's 149 to 93. Chris trying to win 4 in a row. I'm trying to win 3 in a row. So 2 teams that are on a winning streak and want to continue that streak. Man, I need Verlander to be big today, man. I need some boosted points in there. I need offense, my guys, to start hitting. Next, we have 10th seed Carlos going up against 5th seed Danny. Right now, both won last week. Carlos is up 159 to 136. And the last matchup, we have 2nd seed Designated Shitter going up against Benny C34. And Benny's up 156-109. So we got good matchups this week. Wish everybody luck. Like I said, I think I'm waiting for the league to get back to me to determine if I can start tweaking some of the scoring, because I just don't think we're getting enough volume for the pitching. And, give me your thoughts. Shoot out a text, let me know what you think. But I'm going to try to do these videos more often, maybe once every 2 weeks, just so it's not as big as this first gap of the first 7 weeks gone by. So like every 2 weeks or so, I'm going to try to just do a quick video, just give you a little recap, all right? You guys have a safe and relaxing Memorial Day weekend. Let's go Mets. Hopefully, we pull a sweep out of here. Leave Colorado very happy. Enjoy this season. I'm telling you, it's going to be a great season. All right? Talk to you guys soon.